All right. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from, and welcome to this week's mobile coaching stream. My name is Patrick France, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest, and I will be your host for today's session. Hopefully, everybody is doing well. If you guys can hear me out there, let's see those good mornings flying in the chat. Hey there, Jay. Good morning. Drew, good morning. Martin, good morning. Hopefully, you're doing well. Jay, just as a follow-up, I did receive your email. I have forwarded it over to other people who will be able to utilize that information a little bit better and be able to figure out what's going on. So hopefully that should be resolved in the near future, but I just wanted to let you know that I did get that email and have passed that on to the people that need to see that there. So thank you for your information. I do appreciate that and didn't want you to think that I was just ignoring you on that one. All right, so once again, welcome. If you guys can hear me, let's see those good mornings fly in the chat. I see some people already chiming in on the YouTube side. Let's see the Facebook side, waiting for people to show up on that side. But it says we are live both on Facebook and on YouTube now, so we should be pretty good, ready to go. Good morning. How you feeling? Pretty good, Hector. Hopefully you're feeling well here. So welcome once again. This is our weekly mobile coaching stream that we do every single Thursday, where we talk about the most comprehensive trading app out there. That is the VectorVest Stock Advisory app. It has everything that you need to manage your portfolio successfully. And today we're going to be talking about one of the simplest, easiest features to use, but that has a lot of benefit to it. We've talked about it a lot recently. We're going to continue on that path and continue to look at some of the other features that we may not have discussed quite yet. And we'll get into that in a moment. As always, if you guys, have any stocks you want to see analyzed, make sure to stick around towards the very end, because we'll start off taking a look at what's going on here in the market today. Then we'll dive into our topic of discussion, and then we'll finish off with the fan favorite of analyzing your stocks in less than 10 seconds. So if you have stocks you want to see analyzed, make sure to stick around towards the very end. Hey there, Tommy. Hopefully you're doing well. Unfortunately, the mug has already been given out there, Jay, so no mug today. We did do a giveaway last week. That mug has been shipped out, so hopefully, Ezo Fitness, if you're in here today, you should be getting that in the next couple of days. Hopefully you enjoy that there. All right, so let's go ahead, jump right into it here today, see what's going on in the overall market, and then we'll dive into our topic of discussion. And before we do that, though, as always, if you guys enjoy these streams, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, or if you're over on our Facebook page, make sure to like the page, turn on notifications, and share this video out with all your friends and family, so that way we can continue to grow this amazing community here. So, without further ado, right now, the Dow is down about 0.7%, NASDAQ's down a little over 0.5%, S&P 500 down about 0.6%, VectorVest Composite down 0.4%. But if we look at little mini graphs, as we can see, yes, they are in the red, but they have been improving off of their lows from earlier in the session here today. However, even with that market action, that has us 3 ticks into the yellow. Therefore, today's market is neutral, and VectorVest advocates caution when buying stocks at this time. As always, if you ever want an update on what's going on in the market, make sure to tune into the daily color guard report Monday through Friday, where we recap what's going on in the market today, what to expect for tomorrow, what news you need to be aware of, what headlines you need to be aware of. In essence, watching this quick video here will make sure that you never get caught off guard with what's going on in the market and stay on top of things. So, scrolling down a little bit more, getting into the color guard itself, as we can see, the color guard is where that gauge gets its colors from, that top row of lights here. And we have 3 yellow lights across the board, indicating that the price, the RT, and buy to sell ratio are a little bit mixed here overall. So right now, the price is lower than what it was compared to the previous day, but still higher compared to 5 trading days earlier. The RT, higher than what it was a week ago, but lower than what it was yesterday. Same with the buy to sell ratio. So therefore, since we have mixed bags currently with our main market timing indicators, all 3 are yellow right now. Looking at the MTI, as we can see, the MTI is also higher than what it was compared to a week ago, but lower than what it was compared to yesterday. But as we mentioned, the major indices have been picking up off of their lows ever since the earlier in the session. So if that trend continues, if somehow we can see the markets finish off in the green by the end of the day, we could potentially see those 3 yellow lights turning, or at least get some more green appearing here than what we have right now. After the trend, or after the MTI, we then get the trend column, which shows 2 parts of the trend each and every day. Now, the first part refers to what we like to call the primary wave, which is just simply the short-term or weekly trend of the market. As we can see, it is up since the price of VectorVest Composite is higher than what it was compared to 5 trading days earlier. The second part of the trend is looking at the underlying trend, or the MTI. Since the MTI is above 1, the underlying trend in the market is up here. And then last but not least, we finish off with the calls column, which stands for our confirmed calls, and our confirmed calls are our most conservative timing system. They're our last signal we get to get into the market and our last signal we get to get out. So therefore, we never want to ignore a confirmed call change. Well, right now, we still remain in that confirmed up situation. And last thing we want to take a look at here on the homepage is the market advances to declines, basically showing the number of stocks moving higher from the prior day's close to the stocks that are moving lower compared to the prior day's close. And when we look at this, we tend to want to look for 2-to-1 bias. So if the markets are moving higher, we want to see twice as many stocks advancing and declining, and just the opposite if the markets are moving lower. That way it puts the probability on your side if you're getting into a trade for the day. So right now we're sitting at about 26% of stocks moving higher and about 60% of stocks moving lower. So with the markets moving lower, we have twice as many stocks declining and advancing. So if we're going to be opening up a bearish position, we have the markets in favor of that for right now. All right, so with that, over on our Facebook page, if you guys are tuning in, make sure to say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And as always, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button and share this out with all your friends and family. That way we can continue to grow the community here. All right, so today what we're going to be talking about is the power of a watch list. Now, we've used the watch list and we've talked about the power of a watch list to weed your portfolio, to manage your portfolio of stocks. But today we're going to do a little bit more deep dive into that watch list and see what other key benefits you can get from having that watch list created of either stocks that you own or stocks that, maybe you're interested in. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the My Watch List section here on the left. And we have the Facebook one we created just a couple of weeks ago. And right out of the gate, once you get into a watch list, it'll automatically be ranked by our master indicator VST, standing for value, safety, and timing. We'll use SVRA as our basic start here. And we go down to the bottom, these 4 indicators at the bottom. These are all going to be cast on a scaling of 0 to 2, and above 1 is favorable, below 1 is unfavorable. The first one we look at is the RV, or relative value, which is looking at the long-term potential of stock over the next 1 to 3 years. So for example, this one below 1 tells us poor long-term potential over the next 1 to 3 years. The second indicator is the RS, or relative safety, which is looking at the amount of risk involved in the stock compared to the average stock out there. At 0.81, that tells us there's a little bit more risk associated with this than the average stock out there. The third is looking at more of that momentum or technical indicator, looking at the short-term price trend of the stock. Above 1, short-term trend is up. Below 1, the short-term trend is down. So this one, above 1, tells us the short-term trend is up strongly right now. Then the trends of these 3 indicators are comprised to come up with the overall VST score, therefore giving you a good overall picture from both a fundamental and a technical perspective, all summarized into one. So that's why using VST as that default sort is extremely powerful and something you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. Boone, North Carolina. Boone is an absolute gorgeous area, Jim. Hopefully you're doing well. I have a brother-in-law who lives there, so yeah, we like going and visiting him anytime we get a chance to. Hey, Jay's finally seeing some chat going on over on the Facebook side. Glad to see it. All right. So VST is a great place to start, especially if, let's say this stock or these stocks that we have in here today are stocks that we were interested in. Or, these are not our current holdings, but stocks we're keeping an eye What level would you need to purchase to get this benefit? So Chuck, I am on the basic VectorVest premium mobile version. So everything you see here nothing has to do with the desktop. This is just a premium mobile version. So everything you see here is what you get with it. So I'm not using anything else that you would need to purchase add-ons or additional tools or features. This is the premium standard version of the mobile app. Hey Marie, hopefully you're doing well. All right, so let's say this is a basket of stocks that you are considering getting into. Well, I know there's a lot of different types of investors that tune into these sessions on a weekly basis. So let's take a look at let's take a look at this list from a more conservative perspective. Let's say a dividend investor. Well, if these are the stocks that you had that, let's say a bunch of your friends gave you all these different tickers of all these different stocks that they liked, you put them in, but you want to see which one really fits your specific needs. Well, all you have to do is go to the rank by the top. And if you're looking for dividends, you could do yield, safety, growth. You could do dividend growth, dividend safety, dividend yield. Let's say yield, safety, and growth. Now, YSG is basically like the same thing as the VST rating for the individual stock, but specifically analyzing the dividend. Well, if these are the stocks that your buddies gave you, all you have to do is just see only one of the stocks that your friends gave you actually has anything to resemble a dividend. That's Pepsi. So if we tap on that one, we can get into it. Poor long-term potential, slightly below average, but really good safety, which is definitely what you want to see. Timing is a little off at 0.89, so it is in a steady decline right now. Overall, the stock's about average, but hey, it does pay a dividend, so you got to keep that in mind and take that into consideration. If we scroll down, taking a look at the dividend information, right now, the dividend is $4.60 per share over a 12-month period. So that yields to 2.6%. And the dividend safety is 60. Now, you may be asking, what is dividend safety? Well, if we go into the stock analysis report, scroll down, you get a written out detailed description of every single indicator that we just were looking at here. And scrolling down to the dividend safety, the dividend safety is an indicator of the assurance that the regular cash dividends will be declared and paid at current or at higher rates for the foreseeable future. Then it even tells you Pepsi has a dividend safety of 60, which is good on a scaling of 0 to 99. Stocks with a dividend safety value above 75 typically have RS values well above 1 and earnings yields that are much higher than dividend yields as well. So it not only tells you what that indicator is, but how it fares compared to the average stock out there, and gives you some information so that way you can make a more informed decision on whether or not, it's a good dividend stock to be adding to your portfolio. Is overvalued, Disney is overvalued. Yeah, and that's the thing is, as Jim is pointing out, some of these stocks are overvalued right now. So therefore, if you're more of a conservative investor, yeah, it pays a good dividend, but it is in a steady decline and you're overpaying for that stock currently. So out of that, you may hold off and may look for some better ideas rather than what your friends were giving you, let's say at a party you went to over the weekend. So this is a quick and easy way to figure out whether or not, any of these stocks really match what your goals are. So from a dividend perspective, yeah, maybe you'll pass on it. But let's say you're more of a technical trader, more of a short-term momentum trader. I know there's a lot of you out there that tune in on a weekly basis. Let's say that was your cup of tea. Well, you could go to the relative timing and automatically bring the stocks with the strongest momentum to the upside currently right to the top of the list. So SVRA comes up as number 1, and you notice this the information on the right-hand side also changes to match what you're looking for on that rank buy. So that way saves you some extra time and some extra having to go through and do some extra clicks so you can get the information you're looking for as quickly as possible. So that way you have more free time to go do things you'd rather be doing than analyzing your basket of stocks or doing research into your investments, hours upon hours a day. So SVRA, looking at it, we looked at it earlier. Right now, 272 stock is in overvalued territory, but at the same time, if you're a short-term momentum trader, you're not really worried about the fundamentals. You're more worried about the technicals. So therefore, you jump into the chart real fast. Let's go 1 month. Stock, nice run up here, pulled back, now starting to make make a run towards the previous highs at around 280. So 3 indicator positive, short-term momentum favoring the upside. MACD had that pullback, but now starting to turn, looks like just shy of turning positive. So we'd like to see that MACD cross above that signal line, indicating a short-term uptrend. And therefore, yeah, this could be a decent candidate to keep an eye on here. So if we get out here, go to the next one, AMLI. This one, 3 indicator negative. MACD steadily moving lower. So on a short-term basis, right now may not be the best entry. But if we zoom out, it has been on a nice steady run, now starting to pull back a little bit. That's why this is a watch list of stocks to keep an eye on. Maybe not ones to get into right at this moment. Have a question regarding the indicator to buy when the market is up. My brother is sort of confused when to buy, since he believes you should buy when the market is down. So Francisco, you're using very general words or verbs. Yes, you want to buy when stocks are lower than what they were, but at the same time, let me go find a stock real quick. Let me go back out of here. Buy when stocks are down. Let's say QURE. Okay, right here. Actually, let me maximize it. Right here. Stock was down, but is that a good time to buy? No, stock continued to move lower. Stock's down here. Was that a good time to buy? No. Continue to move lower. Was that a good time to buy? No. Stock is now trading even less than that. So this is why, there's a key philosophy and something my father taught me from a long time ago, or a saying he used to have, of instead of, trying to do the buy low and sell high, we tend to prefer to buy high and sell higher. What that means, before you have questions about that, what that means is, stocks that are hitting higher highs, higher lows are doing that for a reason. Stocks that are hitting lower highs and lower lows are doing that for a specific reason. So therefore, instead of trying to catch a falling knife in essence, or buying stocks as they're continuing to fall and watching those continue to depreciate, losing more and more money, we'd rather wait for a stock to, after a downtrend, wait for signs that it's starting to recover, starting to move higher again, and then use that as an entry. Now, if the stock doesn't recover, you just avoided throwing a whole lot of extra money and dollar cost averaging lower and lower and lower into a stock that continues to go lower. And also remember, just because a stock has a buy rating doesn't mean you go out and buy it. What we want to look for are stocks that have a buy rating. We want to buy rated stocks in a rising market and sell rated stocks in a falling market to free up cash, so that way we can get into stocks that are at a discount when the market starts turning back around. J&J, for example. Let's go ahead and take a look. J&J. Okay, so let's go look at a 1 year. Okay, so J&J running up nicely. Great. Hit a high of about 185. Okay, it had a pullback, starting to tick back up. It's cheaper than what it was at its high. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. Oh, I really regret buying it. Oh, okay, I'm making money. It's going higher again. Nope, just kidding. Oh boy. Well, it's higher than that last low. I'm going to go ahead and sink some more money into it. Oh no. Now I've lost a lot of money and I continue to sink money into a losing investment. Maybe if you dollar cost averaged perfectly, by the time it got back to these 180s, maybe you would be in the green and maybe you could take some profit. But most likely emotions are going to stop the average investor from saying, oh, this is a good time, I should be getting out now. and they're going to continue to hold on to it thinking that it's going to continue to move higher. And well, what happens? Continues to crash, and now you've cost averaged a lot of money into it and you're at a loss. So you're continuing to throw money into a stock that's losing you money. That is a really good way of going broke very, very quickly. So that's the way I would state it for him. Hopefully that helps him and clears up some of that confusion for him as well. But if you look at it, I mean, right now you're just breaking down below a one year low. Oh wait, technically back down here. So you're at a 1 year low. Buying at a 1 year low, I would wait for some signs that it's going to bounce off of that potential support. And even at that time, it may not do a whole lot, or it may, get a little bit of a relief rally since it's dropped $25 a share roughly. But the overall trend is moving lower, and it doesn't make sense to hold on to stocks that are losing us money. As you can see, it's clearly in a downtrend with lower highs and lower lows. So stop trying to catch a falling knife. Wait for a better opportunity to present itself. Now, getting back out of here, getting back into our list. There we go. So RT for momentum traders. And as you guys can see, there's a lot of different indicators that you can use to help filter what stocks you're looking for. Also, if you're a momentum trader, going by percent gain or loss or biggest movers would be another viable candidate. Shopify. Now, if you're an aggressive trader, if you're a momentum trader, you're willing to take advantage of stocks by buying them long or by shorting, which we talked about last week. So looking at Shopify, even though it's down 15%, you may be willing to take a short position on it. With a 15% mover, you can definitely find some volatility and definitely find some opportunities to take advantage of that quick move higher or lower. AMLI is the next one. Let's go ahead, take a look at percent gain loss. So this is just for the day. Percent gain losses for the day. Not a whole lot of bigger movers here, but if you're going through the list of stocks, there we go, that you were interested in, or that, you had a list of your buddies' stocks that they were all recommending to you and you still couldn't find anything, well, that's why you have VectorVest at your side. As we talk about time and time again, you can go to the stock pick ideas and you can find candidates that may be better than what your buddies were recommending. For example, that dividend investor, that more conservative investor, top dividend stocks. We only had Pepsi showing up. Well, in this one, let's go to YSG. We have UVV, which has a YSG of 1.25, ENB 1.23. All the top performers here are well above what we were seeing with Pepsi. If we go to dividend yield, ENB, dividend yield 6.81%. TDS, actually, that's who we just got here locally for our fiber internet, 6.5%. UVV, almost 6%. So some pretty big dividends from these candidates. And now, just like the other ones though, the timing is a little bit off. So maybe most likely we'll wait for that timing to pick back up, because even though, yes, it does pay a dividend, that dividend most likely will not offset the amount of loss we're going to take in the underlying holding before the stock turns back around. So the better opportunity is to simply wait right now. If this is your, if you were looking at getting in and then waiting for that better buying opportunity, wait for the market timing to tell us it's okay to start buying, and then maybe start, dipping our toes into the water and getting into some of these at that discounted rate, and then keeping some stop losses on them just like we would with any other position. So that way, if they don't start going higher, we cut them quickly. We may capture a dividend for, one period or so, but then we can move on and find a better candidate that is moving higher with the overall market as well. All right. Then if you're a momentum trader, high momentum stocks, or my personal favorite under the premium watch list, the daily boomers. Obviously I talk about this a lot, but if you're looking for high flyers, this is a great place to go for that momentum trader, or a day trader, if you will. So This is how, not only using the watch list can really help save you a lot of time, whether it's managing your current holdings or building a shopping list, getting it ready of stocks that you're interested in, and helping you do some rank analysis on that basket to find which candidates would be best for your individual personal preferences or personal goals. But, you also have, if everything that you're looking at and your personal watch list or your shopping list that you're trying to get ready isn't really matching exactly what you're looking for, well, VectorVest also has you covered with our premium watch list and our stock pick ideas, because no matter what type of investor you are, you're going to be able to find something in one of those lists to help make sure that you have everything that you need to be successful in the market. And when you combine that with the market timing, it is literally your one-stop shop for all your portfolio needs here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'd be glad to answer those. If not, let me go ahead, get a quick drink. I want everybody smashing that like button right now. I want everybody sharing this out with all their friends and family. Let's get this going. And without further ado, let's get into the fan favorite of analyzing any stock that you want to take a look at in less than 10 seconds. So I'm going to get some water while you guys are putting those in here. And pairs coming in. Can we analyze? Let's see. Tesla, TSLA. Tesla, great long-term potential. You have less risk associated with it. The timing's starting to finally pick back up above 1. Overall, the stock is favorable right now. Roku, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it, indicating a speculative play, but you do have a really strong short-term uptrend. As somebody mentioned, earnings beat. So overall right now for momentum traders, the stock is favorable. Let's see, app. Appreciate that, Maria. BORR, good long-term potential, but a little bit more risk, so inconsistencies with their balance sheets. However, you have a really strong short-term uptrend, so overall the stock is favorable. DVN, good long-term potential, but a little bit more risk associated with it. You do have a steady decline right now in price action. Overall, the stock's okay, a little bit above average, but with this, the RT below 1, right now is not the time to be holding it in our portfolios here. ALB, great long-term potential, less risk associated with it, really strong short-term uptrend. So overall, the stock is definitely favorable. TQQQ, an ETF. Love doing ETFs inside VectorVest because VectorVest makes analyzing any ETF extremely easy. Because ETFs aren't individual companies, they don't report quarterly earnings, they don't have financial balance sheets that you have to go through. So therefore, the fundamental indicators, the RV and RS, are always going to be pegged at 1. So all you have to do is focus on RT with an ETF. With TQQQ, RT is at 1.58, telling us it's in a really strong short-term uptrend. So overall, the ETF is favorable right now. YPF, great long-term potential, but a little more risk than the average stock out there. You do have a really strong short-term uptrend, so overall, the stock is favorable right now. YWV, or YVW. I'm not finding that one, Maria. Let's see, BA, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. However, you are in a short-term uptrend, but not strong enough to offset the amount of risk involved with this one. So therefore, right now, the stock is not favorable. That may be the highest price speculative stock I've seen in a long, long time here. AI, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. Really strong short-term uptrend. This is a speculative play. I think we can all understand why. Overall, the stock is favorable right now for that momentum trader. If you're not a momentum trader, if you're somebody who's a swing trader or long-term buy and hold investor, most likely you're going to, appreciate fundamentals a little bit. AI is not going to be one for the lighthearted there. VLO, great long-term potential, less risk associated with it. You're basically flat on a short-term price trend though, so therefore stock has really good fundamentals, but I'd like to see that timing pick back up a little bit more, because right now you're just basically treading water, and you may not be losing on the underlying investment, but you're losing out on opportunity potentially elsewhere. Google, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. You do have a steady short-term uptrend, so overall stock is favorable right now. Value under the price, but yours does not. XME, let me see. The value under the price. Where shows the value under the price? I'm not sure why you're seeing like the value up here in a watch list, Jim. I'm going to have to take a look into that a little bit more. All right, so XME, another ETF. Therefore, all you have to do is look at RT at 1.2. Tells us the ETF is in an uptrend. So overall, the ETF is favorable right now. STLD. STLD, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. Nice steady short-term uptrend. So overall, the stock is favorable. QYLD, let's see. An ETF, RT at 1.2, tells us this ETF is favorable right now. Under the percent. Yeah, I'm not seeing that. I'm going to have to, give me 1 second. We'll take a look in just a moment. So Crocs, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. Strong short-term uptrend. Overall, the stock is favorable. SQM, good long-term potential, little less risk than the average stock out there. Nice steady uptrend, so overall the stock is favorable. SMCI, good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. Really strong short-term uptrend, so overall, yeah, the stock is favorable right now. SNAP. More of a speculative play. Poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. However, you do have a slight short-term uptrend, not enough to offset the amount of risk involved with it. So therefore, the stock is not favorable. A firm as a short. So A firm, poor long-term potential, a lot of risk associated with it. That's what you want to see. Timing at 0.98, steady or slight decline. Not the strongest RT to the downside for a short trade, but still moving lower overall. Stock is not favorable. Yeah, this is an ideal short candidate as we talked about last week. BYDDY. Not familiar with it, but we'll analyze it. Good long-term potential, less risk associated with it. Timing is flat, so you're basically just treading water right now. Overall, the stock is favorable, but I need to see that timing pick up. META. Does the app have bottom fisher stocks? It most certainly does, Francisco. So Meta, poor long-term potential, but they do have a lot of money on hand, so a strong balance sheet, therefore less risk associated with it. Timing at 1.33 indicates it is in a pretty strong short-term uptrend right now, so overall the stock is favorable. ASG, ETF, so therefore primary focus is RT, 1.12. It is in a steady uptrend on a short-term basis, therefore the ETF is favorable right now. All right, so to answer Francisco's question, does the app have bottom fishers? Well, if we go into the screeners, go into the Explore screens, you can see bottom fishing is the third category down. There's 4 of them in here. You got Jailbreak, S&P 500 divided by RT, S&P 600 small cap divided by RT, and VST Mighty Mites. Now, remember where we're at in the market. Right now is not the ideal time for bottom fishing. bottom fishing is ideal for the bottoms of markets. Well, if we go into the overview page, go into the market timing graph, we are clearly off the bottoms. Here would have been the time to bottom fish, not here when we're retesting these highs from back around the middle of the summer. So right now, bottom fishing is not the play to be trying to take advantage of because we are not close to a bottom in the market. All right, let me do one last thing. Go into the My Watch List, go back in here. So you're seeing the value. So Jim, are you sure it's the value or is it the stop price that you're seeing? Because I have stop that's shown right above the price, but I don't have the value there. Maybe it's different on the mobile just because of the smaller screen resolution. I'd have to go back and double check because I have the iPad. I don't use the phone that much anymore, but I'll have to go double check that. But yeah, it should be pretty much the same there. I know the stop has always been at the top, but I don't recall ever seeing value right there. In a watch list at least. So I'm gonna have to go do some investigating on that one. All right, UPRO, another ETF. Therefore, your primary focus is RT. 1.25 tells us it is in an uptrend, so overall this ETF is still favorable. On the mobile, it's above the chart. Oh, okay. Maybe because with the iPad you have more landscape, so it gives you the ability to spread that out a little bit more. I don't recall that whenever we used to use the mobile or the phone for these sessions, but I mean, then again, it's been a long time, so I may have to go back and revisit that there. Just to make sure I stay up to date with that. And last but not least, we'll do one more SGML. SGML, good long-term potential, but does have a little bit more risk associated with it. Steady short-term uptrend. So overall, the ETF is favorable, or the stock is favorable here. I'm using Android. It shouldn't matter between Android and iOS. They're pretty much identical when compared to side by side. The value shows on both my cell phone and my tablet. Well, maybe I thought I had the most recent updates. Maybe I'm missing out on an update. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it. All right. So now if I didn't get to analyze your stock that you want to see analyzed, I do apologize. We analyzed a lot of them here today. As always, if you already are a subscriber to the VectorVest Stock Advisory app, just pull it up, tap on that little magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner, type in your symbol, and you can do all the same analysis you just saw here, wherever you're at on the go. If you're not already a subscriber, click on the link down in the description below of today's stream and sign up for the 2-week free trial. Put it to the test. As the old saying goes, seeing is believing. And once you see the power that it can provide for you, you're going to wish you had it a lot sooner. So on that note, we look at the major indices. The Dow is still down about 0.75%, basically flat from where we last looked at it. Same as the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's down about 0.7%. S&P 500 is also down about 0.7%. VectorVest Composite down about 0.4%. Still, we have 3 yellow lights across the board, and therefore the market is neutral, and VectorVest advocates caution when buying stocks at this time. Looking at the advanced declines right now, seeing a slight uptick in the advances where we have about 28% of stocks moving higher now, and still just shy of that 60% of stocks moving lower. So still favoring the downside, but we have seen the advances picking up just slightly since we started earlier this morning. So on that note, thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget, as always, Glenn has his Trending Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern today. Make sure to go check that out if you want to see all the major headlines that are impacting the markets and how to take advantage of them. Also, as Chuck just mentioned, down below, we do have I do have a link for the VectorVest merchandise store, merch store. Make sure to check that out and use the code Patrick23 at checkout to receive an additional discount on all those goods. So if you want a mug and you didn't get a chance to win one last week, check out the store. Use that code so that way you get that extra discount there. On that, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a great rest of your trading day. Be safe out there. Take care. And until next time, toodles.